Welcome to Keep What You Earn, your judgment and jargon-free zone for entrepreneurs of all levels. Get ready to learn how to scale your business, save money in taxes, and create a business that grows your wealth. If it feels like the financial side of business is like eating your vegetables, well then think of this podcast as the ranch dressing to make the process a little more enjoyable. My name is Shannon Weinstein. I'm a CPA and business owner on a mission to simplify money and empower others through knowledge. I hope this episode inspires you to take action, but remember that the information we share is for educational purposes only and is not individual tax advice. Now that we got that out of the way, let's start the show. So today I want to talk about business boredom. And this is something that a lot of people are struggling with and that I've talked to a lot of entrepreneurs about, especially in mastermind communities and group coaching programs that I've been in and also that I've coached in. And this keeps coming up. And admittedly, I laugh a little bit inside, not in a judgmental way at all, but I laugh at, the comments that come up around business boredom. For example, Shannon, I'm making a ton of money in my business. I'm making over $250,000 in profit a year and this and that. And I have a great team and I have this, but I'm so bored. And I kind of giggle and I'm like, well, this is kind of what we signed up for. Like, isn't this all the goals that you had, right? These are all the goals that you wanted. And now you're bored. You once prayed for this and now you're saying you're bored. And I'm not saying that in that their emotions are wrong or unjustified, or that their feeling of boredom is wrong. But what's interesting is that, your business is by all definition meeting its goals. Your business is here to be a machine that makes money. And if you are bored or have a boring business, my blunt answer to that is your business is not meant to entertain you. Your business is not really meant to be the thing that you have fun passing the time doing. And that may be hard to hear, because you want it to be fun. You want to enjoy it. You want to show up every day loving your clients, loving the acts of service that you do, loving the product you put out there. And you should, but there will come a time when it bores you. There will come a time when you go, yeah, it's great. It's making good money, but it's not exciting anymore. It's like a relationship. Some of the best relationships are boring. Some of the best relationships, look at the typical stereotype of 3 months of dating versus 30 years of marriage. It's more exciting when it's new, it's fresh, it's challenging. And I've heard Jay Shetty talk about this when it comes to relationships. And he says that in the first 3 months or so, you have a degree of fear and insecurity that keeps things exciting, keeps the butterflies active. It keeps everything kind of on edge. And we're kind of addicted to that feeling. Like, we love that feeling. We like to chase. We like the feeling of wanting. And when that dissipates and it becomes more comfortable, when you can be yourself in front of your partner, when you go to the bathroom with the door open, right? Like all those things that you do as a married couple where you're not really as self-conscious and you're not worried anymore. You're not scared. You're very comfortable with this person. It can get quote unquote boring. And your business is no different. It's way more fun to start a new business than it is to, nurture an existing one. But I would challenge the thought that, well, I'm bored, so therefore I should sell the business, stop, close the doors, do whatever, and deviate my attention elsewhere. I will hesitate on that because I will tell you, so many people that I know built amazing businesses in 2020, but they were doing it as a form of fun for themselves. They were doing it to generate money, spending all the money that came in, and they had a great way to earn income, but they got bored and they said, I'm just not going to do that anymore. Understand that even if you hit a point in your business where you're actually bored and you don't want to do it anymore, and I'm not telling you to do something that's not on your heart, you can have options. You can sell the business. You can pass it on to an employee. You could create some type of licensing where someone runs it and gives you some type of kickback fee to run it. You could also just install team members that will run the business for you and you just cash out on it. Your business should be a machine that makes you money. That is the intention of a business. It solves a problem and makes you money, right? So if it's doing those things, it's a solid business. So before you jump the gun and say, well, I'm bored, I'm going to go do something else, just consider that you spent all this time building the machine. It should be working for you. And if you are, if you've spent any time building your business, then there is something there that is worth passing on, worth dissolving, worth, finding a home for something. And I would caution you in getting too distracted, because you're going to build an amazing business. And if you do get bored and you go start something else, that's going to bore you too one day. And you're going to go start something else. And I know a lot of serial entrepreneurs that do this. It's one thing to discover a new problem that you can uniquely solve and that you have the capital and the manpower to solve. It's another thing when you divert your attention, you get distracted, and that you then stop watering one plant in order to nurture a new one and start from scratch. You may find yourself in this perpetual zone of business building and startup mode, while you never really get to relax and you never really get to reap the benefits and harvest those plants because you don't water them for long enough. So my message today is out there for the business owners who maybe are easily distracted or aren't really committing to the one project that they set out to do. My question for you is, are you really done? Are you really that bored? Is it worth looking into? Is it worth figuring out another solution that maybe you can stay unbored or entertained through another channel? And maybe you don't have to make that a business or have it make money, but sometimes the way you make money, it's boring. I'll cite another example. When I was in corporate America and I was making my paycheck, doing my normal day job, working in compliance or working in audit, I didn't particularly love my job to the point that I would do it for free or anything. I enjoyed it sufficiently. I was pretty neutral. I was like, yeah, I show up, I do my job, I go home. No polarizing feeling. But what I did love is that after work, I would go teach Zumba. I would go teach Zumba 2 or 3 times a week. And that brought me so much joy and fulfillment. And one thing that my dad taught me before he died was, the thing that makes you money doesn't have to make you happy. And that's hard to hear. That is hard to hear because we've all been kind of taught that we should be like following our passion. There is nothing wrong with, and in fact, I'm going to go as far as to say this is probably the better, more realistic expectation to set for yourself, is that the way you make money will probably be boring. The way you make the most money is almost always boring. Think about investing, think about real estate, think about, boring businesses. The things that bring in the most money are probably boring. But because they bring in money, you can go do what makes you happy. And you have endless choice of what you do then. When I was younger, I wanted to be an artist. I actually wanted to be a Disney animator. Fun fact. Really glad that didn't work out because I wanted to draw pictures. And we saw how that turned out with computer animation and with graphic design. So what's interesting is my dad kind of sat me down and said, look, you can get any kind of job you want. And if you make enough money, you can paint, you can draw, you can go live at the beach and paint to your heart's content. And you can enjoy every second of it because it will never be the reason you make money. And that really stuck with me, that the thing that pays the mortgage comes back to you in pressure. Because now you're doing what you love, but now you associate what you love with something that adds pressure to you financially. And the fact that I could separate those two things was such a gift, because I knew that there was a way I was going to make money and then there was a way I was going to spend my time. And that the way I made money enabled me to spend my time doing something that I absolutely loved. And like I said, if you can find something that does both, that's amazing. But one day, a day will come where you are bored or it applies too much pressure to you. And then you're going to start negatively associating the thing that you've built with those emotions. And I don't want that for you. I don't want you to get bored. I don't want you to hit a wall in your business where you feel like you can't go on. I want you to seriously consider, though, if you are feeling bored, why? Is it curable? Will it stop just by starting something new, or will it just come back again? And if this is a constant cycle, then I would ask you if this is really worth stopping, if the business is working well for you. And just remember what the business is there for. And if you have a valuable business, you have a lot more choices and the things you can do and the options that you have. So consider that and make mindful decisions about how you want to proceed with your business, not on the grounds of how you're temporarily feeling, but on the potential that it has to serve you for the future. Okay, real talk. Our business can really mess with our emotions and our mindset. Am I right? One day we feel like we're unstoppable, like we could run through a wall, and then the next we want to burn it all down and start from scratch. Hey, I'm with you. A lot of this has to do with how we approach our money. And if you need a quick jolt of mindset habits for the next 5 days to help you reboot and recalibrate, check out my 5-day financial mindset refresh delivered straight to your email. Click the link in the show notes to sign up right now. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a rating and review on your podcast platform. This small action goes a long way for podcasters to get our message heard by more business owners just like you. Be sure to check out the show notes for links to information about our guests and ways to get in touch with me. We'll see you on the next episode.